Okay. Hello. Just checking my mic. Let me open the stream app on my phone, see if I hear myself. Let's see. Okay, that's what it sounds like. Go green. How can you tell me you actually just woke up, Kojo? I didn't chill with your water. Hey. 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 Yeah, that repetition was from... Okay, there we go. Alright, so I think I have HDR on. I think the stream is fine still. Doesn't seem to have an issue. Let me check and see. Advanced 1080p. Oh yeah, seems pretty good even with HDR on, which usually is not the case. Anyways, we're gonna take off and land in the Airbus A320neo. So I'm gonna have that selected, and yeah, let's go back to our departure and arrival page. So right now it's quite dark, and even though I can fly in the dark, I want us to fly during the daytime, just so you guys can enjoy the view a bit more. So I'm gonna change the time from live to about 6 a.m. say like sunrise there ish. So let's say like yeah, let's say 6:30 or 6:30 around here, because I'm gonna have to set up the plane, so that's gonna take like 10 to 15 minutes, and by the time we set off it should be like 6:35, right? So I'm gonna select the departure airport to be Kumasi. I already have that in my history because I've practiced that route for quite a while, and I only just started learning this specific aircraft yesterday, and it has been fun. So yeah, for the arrival airport, which is going to be Kotoka International Airport, I'm not going to input that in because I'm going to do everything inside the airplane, like, you know, how we would do it realistically if we were in a plane. I don't want the simulator doing everything for me. So we're going to choose a departure point. Let's say maybe park the ramp 8 parking. I'm going to set that as our departure. And yeah, I think we are ready to go. Now, I've gone ahead and input our arrival, our departure and arrival airports in SimBrief, and I've received an IFR, flight route to follow, and we're going to input that in the plane once we deploy. So let's go ahead and then hit the fly button so we can spawn in. And yeah, just so you guys know, I don't own a joystick yet, so I'm going to be flying this plane with my my controller, which I'm pretty good at anyways. Anyway, so here we are. Hopefully soon I am able to get a joystick. So here we are in our plane, and the first thing we're going to do is to start up the plane. So I'm going to minimize this, and I'm going to minimize the ATC as well. And let's get to starting up the airplane. I'm going to jump over to the control board up top. I'm going to turn on the battery lights, and I'm going to turn on the APU and start it up. I'm just going to wait for it to boot up until this symbol here changes to avail. All right. So let's just wait. You're going to hear a click sound. Give it some time. There we go. That's the click sound. And this should change to avail. And then we can turn on APU bleed, and we can turn on our beacon here. All right. Now let's go down to this side. Let's switch this to ignition start and turn on engine 1, turn on engine 2. Now let's take a look at our screen. We have to make sure that N1 reaches idle here. So let's just give it some time to do that. It's going to take a while, a few seconds, but it will take a while. So let's give it that time. Would love to play this game one day. Do you play Forza? Yes, I do play Forza. I play both Motorsport and Horizon 5. I play both. Okay, so something isn't right, because let me take a look here. Let's turn this back off, and back in here, let's go to the top panel. Let's see what happened. Yeah, so I think beacon light is on. Everything seems to be in order. So what's going on? Let's take a look here. APU bleed is on. Oh yeah, of course, our pumps. Great. There we go. Now let's go back down there. I always forget those pumps up there. Alright, so we're gonna turn that back on. And let's monitor this. There we go. There's some life. Yes, sir. There we go. Alright, so we're just gonna wait for it to hit idle. And then, yeah. Yeah, somehow I was kind of forget the fuel pumps. It's like the third time I forgot the fuel pumps. Alright, there we go, we're in idle. Yeah. So let's get back down here. Now let's switch this back to normal. Go to the top and let's turn off master switch and APU bleed. Alright. Let's see what it looks like outside. Okay, so this is the Kumasi airport. We are ready to fly, but before we do that, we will have to input in our flight route. before we can start talking to ATC about taking off. So let's head over to our panel down here, and then let's start inputting our flight routes. So yeah, let's hit init, and then we're going to enter our departure airport and our arrival airport. So for Kumasi airport is going to be DGSI. We're going to put in /, then we're going to put in DGAA, and maybe I should be talking in pilot codes. So yeah, we're just going to put that in here. Once we have that, that should be in here. Let's put in our cost index, and since I have unlimited fuel enabled because I don't want to be dealing with fuel here, I'm just going to input 100, and I'm going to put that into the cost index, and then 120, cruise altitude of 120, and a temperature of -10. I'm going to put that in here. Yeah, I'm sure. So hopefully when I was hoping I could fly with you today, but you disappointed me, so yeah. All right, now let's input our flight plan in here, and we're starting from DGSI, so we're gonna add in our departure here. We're gonna go 200 degrees, north of the runway, to the north side, so 200 degrees, and we're gonna go with this one here, so Sierra Alpha Golf Mike 1 Delta, like this, and we're gonna hit inset. So if we bring up our map, should be visible here, is gonna be our departure, and we're gonna go ahead and then input our next waypoint. So I'm gonna click on Sagma here. I'm going to click on Airways, and then let's type in the next waypoint. And I think I have it written down somewhere here. One sec. Yeah, so that's going to be Kilo Echo Mike Oscar 1 Bravo. Wait, is that right? No, sorry. Kilo Echo Mike Oscar Kilo. Yeah. I'm going to input that here. Inset. So that should pop up here. And then the next waypoint, so let's get in here, Airways, enter the next one, which is going to be Delta, India, Sierra, November, Oscar. I'm going to put that in here as well. Inset. And then finally, we are going to add in our approach. So we're going to go over, let's scroll down to here. I'm going to select DGAA. I'm going to select arrival. I want to go with ILS 21, and we're going to scroll down and select, this is the one I use right here. So we're going to select that one. Now we're going to inset. Let me see. Oh no, one sec. Return. Yeah, let's try that again. So arrival ILS 21, this one right here, and we're going to select Delta 296 India. So this, then insert, and hopefully that changes. There we go. Yeah, this is my approach right here. All right, we are ready to leave, so let's go ahead and contact ATC. Kumasi ground units. Now I'm going to request IFR for instrument FP.
Kumasi Tower NRF 112 IFR to Accra, ready to copy. NARF 112 is cleared to Accra Airport as filed.
So we're going to be climbing to 12,000 feet. So let's get up here and set our initial altitude to 12,000. That way when we take off, we can just have the autopilot climb up to that. So we're going to acknowledge this.
NRF 112 cleared to Accra Airport is filed. Take off runway 20 climb and maintain 12,000 feet. Departure on 123.1 squawk 5571.
NARF 1123 read back, correct. Contact ground on 118.2. Good day.
Okay. There we go. Let's take a look outside. Alright. Let's request
Kumasi Airport
taxi.
Charlie 0600 Zulu.
Kumasi ground NRF 1123 with Charlie ready to taxi IFR.
NARF 1123 taxi to and hold short of runway 20 using taxiway. Contact tower on 118.2 when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway 20 using taxiway NRF 1123.
Okay. Alright, so we're gonna head in and set up our flaps and just making sure I didn't miss anything before takeoff. I think we are pretty good. We have our altitude set. We'll manage the speed once we are in the air, and we'll see how we take it from there. Alright. So I don't think I'm really going to need this now. I'm going to minimize that and pick up my controller so we can start taxiing to the runway. We're going to park right there and then request for takeoff before we leave. So I'm going to disable parking brake, give it a little bit of throttle. We're just going to turn around. So normally we'll just take off from the middle here all the way forward, but this is a heavy aircraft, and right from the middle here to the end there, it's not enough runway for us to take off. So we're gonna taxi all the way to the back and then take off from the back there. Alright, let's see. Just have to make sure we don't cross into the runway, so we're gonna stop right behind the yellow line. Right about there. Engage parking mode. Now let's request takeoff.
Kumasi Tower NRF 1123 at runway 20 ready for departure IFR to Accra.
NARF 1123.
Alright, we're cleared for takeoff.
9.92 wind calm. Cleared for takeoff runway 20.
Let's acknowledge that and then taxi to the
Cleared
other
for
side
takeoff
of the runway.
20 NRF 1123.
A good rule of thumb would be to always align this screw right here with these white markers. That once you do that, you are sure that your front tire is directly on the white line. So if I get out of the plane, you can see that that is the case. So that's this screw right here, always aligned with the white line. And you can also use that to, you know, help you while you're landing. All right. Okay. So we're gonna turn around right about here, slow down a bit. Then we do a quick 180. Let's line up on the runway. Alright, we can stop right here. Do our final checks. Make sure we're ready for the flight. So I'm going to turn on our takeoff lights. Send this over to takeoff. Make sure our flaps are engaged. Everything looks good. And yeah, I think we're ready for takeoff. And I think we're good. Let's go. Okay. So we're going to rotate at 140 knots, or 145 knots instead. We'll take off. Then right after takeoff, a good practice that I like to do is to just go ahead and then engage the autopilot. Then it's out of our hands now. Now we're not doing anything anymore. Everything is in the hands of the autopilot. And then all that we have to do is to just listen to the radio and then keep following whatever instructions they give us.
Goodbye.
So let's just disable our flaps, turn them up, and let's disable our landing gear. Could have been quicker on that one, but that's fine. And we're going to turn off our takeoff lights. Turn this also off. Alright, let's tune into
Accra Center.
Accra Center.
1123 is at 4,000 feet, climbing 12,000 feet.
NARF 1123 across center altimeter, 29.9er, 2 radar contact, continue to SAGMA.
Alright, so we are in the air, the autopilot is taking care of everything, so all we gotta do is just listen to whatever instructions they give us and then keep following until we reach our destination. Okay. Now one thing I like to do is to manage the speed myself, and yeah, I forgot. We have to set the throttle back down to climb detent. So I'm just gonna drop that down until it's here, because otherwise we get too much airspeed, unnecessary airspeed, and that could cause some issues for us. So yeah, there we go. Who's our pilot? My name is Albert, but I go by Narf. So that's November Alpha Romeo Foxtrot.
Climb and maintain 17,000 feet.
Alright, so here they want us to maintain 17,000 feet, so I'm going to acknowledge that, and then we're going to dial this up to 17,000 feet,
1123.
and then give that to the autopilot to climb. Alright, so we can go outside. That back there is where we departed. Now going to Accra in that direction. So yeah. Let's take a look at the map real quick. So this is where we are, where the plane symbol is. That's where we currently are. And the autopilot is going to follow these waypoints here up until here. And then it's going to take us around to line up for an approach. And then we approach the airport. And then right before we touch down, we're going to make sure that the autopilot takes us all the way to the runway. And right before we touch down, we will disengage the autopilot and then land the plane ourselves. Alright. So yeah, in the meantime, while we listen to ATC, send us some instructions. If you guys have any questions you want to ask me, you can ask and I will answer you. Because at this point we really can't do anything else because the autopilot is taking care of everything. Yeah. One more thing I want to do is to manage our speed, so I'm going to drop it down to about 250 about here. I'm going to leave that out as our cruise speed right there. If you take a look here, you can see it's going to drop down to 250 knots. What do pilots look out for through the windscreen? Well, to be honest, I'd say from what I've experienced so far, I'd say, usually when there's something that I think the computer can't really handle and you have to handle it yourself. Sometimes there are issues, that the autopilot can really handle and it needs you to take care of it. Obviously, you might have to have a visual of what's ahead of you before, attempting such maneuvers. So yeah, I say that's one reason. Otherwise, if let's say this aircraft was perfect and what do you call it? Yeah, also another thing too is the landing. Of course, landing and takeoff, both you need a windscreen for that, because when we get to the runway, there's these things they call puppy lights, and these puppy lights will guide you on your glide scope, on how you glide and descend towards the runway. And to see those puppy lights, obviously you need the windscreen, otherwise you wouldn't see the puppy lights. But in this case, most of the gliding is going to be done by the autopilot. But say we wanted to do it ourselves, then obviously we would have to use the puppy light as a guide. When we get there, I'll show you the puppy lights and I'll show you how to read it, basically. Okay. Next question is, what is the name of the simulator you're using? It's Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Yeah. Alright, so we've hit 17,000, cruising at 70,000 feet. Just waiting on our next instruction. Hopefully when we land, I hope you guys can rate my landing from 1 to 10 and then tell me what you think. Oh yeah, I mean, I I didn't discover Microsoft Flight Simulator that early, but I'm pretty sure if I did discover it at the age of like 16, I would probably be a pilot today. No joke. I'm not even kidding. Because from what I heard, before you fly a plane, you have to fly it in a simulator. So that's like the starting point for you as a pilot. Yeah. What computer specs do you need to have this sim installed? This game is pretty demanding for that, I'll say. I use a 4090, and even that in some areas it's a bit, you know, the FPS drops, but I guess that's because my quality is high. I'm playing on high graphics. I wish I could play on ultra, but I'm pretty sure if I go ultra, it's going to be a bit annoying because everything is going to be slow and, you know, jittery and all that. So I play on high, and it's a pretty good frame rate. But even that one, when I get in some areas, it chops off a bit, so it's pretty demanding. Definitely. Is this simulator operating in real time, as in 45? Yes, but it's not going to take us 45. It's going to take about 30 minutes, and it's mainly depending on your flight routes and your airspeed. So all those things count as well. So normally when I fly in the simulator, and it's definitely live, so it's not like, you know, shot in the simulator. It's definitely live. So if you should use the same condition you use in real life and it takes you 45 minutes, use the same conditions in here, it's going to take you 45 minutes as well. But in this case, it takes us, I think, 20 to 30 minutes to get there. Yep. So yeah, we're about halfway through. We're about halfway there. That's the Kumasi airport. This is about halfway, heading towards Kotoka. Yes, it has VR mode. It does, yeah. I'd play in VR, but Herbert has my what do you call it, VR headset for now. So I'm just gonna have to wait until it comes back. How much do pilots earn? Yeah, I haven't done any research on that, but I'll think pretty average. Let me check that right now and see, actually. Let's see. I'm gonna say it's pretty average, to be honest. I don't think it's because, I mean, flying these planes, I've seen most of the work is done by the autopilot, but they still do a lot in this case. So I'd say, yeah. How much do pilots earn? Should I say in general or should I say in Ghana? Maybe let's check for general first. So, not bad. Yeah, so it's between $250,000 to $750,000 annually, every year, basically. Yeah, I'm also seeing somewhere else they're saying between $70,000 to $90,000. So I guess it depends. I don't really know. Well, if all conditions are good, the pilots just need to just take off and land. That's basically all they have to do, nothing more. They'll take off, listen to, ATC and follow IFR instructions, and they just land. That's about it. If I find one first. Alright, so then someone could descend, we have to descend to 7,000 feet. So we're gonna set this to 7,000 feet and then start descending. No, we're gonna acknowledge this. Okay, now it says 6,500. So we're gonna set this to 6,500. And then let's acknowledge that. So you can see right here we're descending, but I want us to descend quicker. So I'm going to increase the speed a bit so we can descend much quicker. So I'm going to go to 80, just so we can descend quicker. Alright, so I think that means we are starting to approach the airport here. We're getting there. So we have to start descending. I'll keep this open for a while. Yeah, still going. I really want to descend quickly. This thing, it seems to be descending too slow for me, but I think let's just keep it at 280 for now. Hopefully we get to 6,500 by the time we reach this side.
NARF 1123 contact Accra approach on 119.1. Good day.
119.1 NRF 1123. Goodbye.
So we're going to contact approach.
Accra approach NARF 1123 is passing 11,500.
Once we reach around here, we start our approach, and then we're going to enable. We're going to arm our approach mode and our LS mode as well.
Continue to Alpha Charlie Charlie.
Okay. What's the free fall? Yeah. If we go too high, a free fall is possible, but basically if we go too high, the plane will speed up too much, and but I mean it's autopilot, so it can kind of handle it. But in real life, if you go too fast, you can damage the engine, so you have to manage the speed somehow. But yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there. So that's the airport up ahead. We are almost there. I don't know if you guys can see your houses from up here, but I guess most of you are in Accra, right? I even don't know where we are currently. Yeah. Alright, so now that we've hit 6,500, I'm going to drop the speed back down to 250. So we can reduce our airspeed.
NARF 112 tree descend and maintain 2,600
Okay, now we have to come to 2,600 feet. We're going to acknowledge that.
Descend and maintain 2,600
Then
feet.
set
North
2,600 feet. Right there. Now we're going to descend. Oh yeah, it's very fun. No, I won't lie. Once you start playing, it makes you want to be a pilot. It's really, really interesting, and there's so much to learn. There's never really enough. Like, you can never really finish learning. There's a lot to learn. Alright, so I think I should be able to enable LS. Yeah. And once we get to about here, we will start our approach mode, and that is when the autopilot will start following the glide scope, and we land. Now, one thing they say about this aircraft is that it uses fly-by-wire, which apparently is quite difficult to control sometimes, so it's best to mostly leave things to the autopilot, and then you just handle the takeoff and landing. Alright, so I think when we reach there too, I'll set our first flaps. Let's go ahead and enable our landing lights. Alright. I'm gonna drop the speed down to 200. Actually, let's descend quickly first, and then we drop it down. We're still too high. Okay, we're almost there. It's probably gonna ask us to descend to 2,100. Yeah, I was right. So 2,100. Then I'll reduce the speed to acknowledge.
Descend and maintain 2,100 feet north 112 tree.
Once we get to this side, we'll arm approach mode, and then we'll start approaching the airport.
1 miles north of Accra. Contact tower on 126.7 when inbound on the approach.
Alright, so let's manage the speed.
Tower on 126.7 NRF 112 tree.
Let's tune into the tower and contact tower.
NRF 112 tree 11 miles.
I'm gonna
north
drop the
inbound
speed
ILS runway 21 approach.
to 200.
NARF
Now I'm gonna set the first level of flaps.
Altimeter 29.9. 2 wind calm cleared ILS runway 21
Yeah,
approach.
let's set the first level of flaps. Now I can engage approach mode so that the plane can follow the glide scope.
Cleared ILS runway 21 approach NRF 112 tree.
Let's drop the speed down further to 160 or 170. Let's go 160. So we're currently approaching the airport. Now I'm going to set the second level of flaps. We will be approaching the airport at, say, 139 knots. So let's drop that down a bit more. Then let's set the third level of flaps. Alright, so we're still too high. Let's engage the final one. Okay. Alright, now all that we have to do is to wait for the plane to, the autopilot to get us to the runway.
ARF 112 when calm, cleared to land runway 21.
What's the crash? Hey, don't worry, I'll go land safely, eh? Alright, so we have clearance to land.
Cleared to land runway 21 NRF.
I'm going to bring out the landing gear. Alright. We're almost there. So if you take a look straight ahead, you can see these lights right here. If you look to the left side here, you can see 2 red lights and 2 white lights. So normally if you are manually controlling the airplane, if you see 2 white lights and 2 red lights, that means you are in the glide scope and you are in the right path to approaching the airway. But if you see 3 white lights, that means you are too high. If you see 4 white lights, that means you are way too high. If you see 4 red lights, that means you are way too low. If you see 3 red lights, that means you are slightly low. So right now we have 3 white lights, and that's because we are still controlling the aircraft by autopilot. I'm still going to keep it that way until we are close to the runway. Alright, so I think I'm going to take control now. And I'm going to land the plane myself.
200.
Alright, we're a bit to the right.
100. 60, 50, 40, 30. 20. Retard. 5.
Alright, okay, slowly. There we go.
NARF 112 turn next taxiway.
Alright. Yeah, so there we go.
NARF 112 contact ground on 121.9er.
Thank you. Says nice and smooth. Thank you, man. Okay, so we're just gonna wait here until we contact ground.
1123. Goodbye.
Alright, let's take it to parking right up there. Then we can call this done. Also drop me at car price. Yeah, I think we forgot to use the air brakes in the landing. Sometimes it activates, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's hard to reach it, so I just decided not to use it this time. Yeah, those cars, I don't know their names, to be honest. I don't know what they're called. Okay, there we go. All right, so here we are. Successful takeoff and landing from Kumasi to Accra. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it. So before we leave, is there any questions you guys want to ask? What do you guys think of my landing? Anything? Unless you squad fly. Unless you squad fly. I forget that EV mod we go show like, you know, how people go drop from the plane and things, but I got a game from Microsoft Store, so I don't know how to get that mod. That's the thing. If not, I would have gotten it. Let's see how we can turn this thing off. Where's the power? Battery. There we go. All right. Okay. There we go. Yeah, so you mentioned LS. What does that mean? Usually it's ILS, but I guess it means landing system, instrument landing system. Yeah. Thanks, bro. I have to see your landing too, and I will see how you perform. I have to see. I mean, you are the reason why I went to learn the vehicle. If not, I wouldn't have. And it was very interesting. It's easier than the one that I fly. Way easier. The one that I fly, the IB Gangster or Beast per serious. But yeah, that was a nice one. So yeah, whenever you make ready, we can fly together. Probably from Dubai or something, or maybe even somewhere in the US. I don't know. I heard the Dubai airport is very, very big. So I haven't been there here yet. I want to go there in the simulator and see how it is. And it is very big. The A320 is all computer, but I think they're also saying the Boeing is way more complex than Airbus. So yeah. Oh yeah, if you have to fly to the US, let me show you. You will take the same amount of time you take in real life. And you know, like in real life too, you don't go directly to the USA, you will make some routes but this one says if you should go directly, let me show you. If you should go directly from Kotoka, let me type in DGAA to say, I don't know, LAX. Let's go KLAX. You can see it's going to take 14 hours and 27 minutes to finish. So that's a very long time. You might be able to do it because you'll mostly be cruising in the sky. Then you could set it to the altitude they asked of you, and then you just probably go and sleep in your bed, and then at the time you wake up, you are close to the airport, and then you land the plane. or you can fast travel. You want, yes, 14 hours in game. But if you like to, you can fast travel. But what's the fun in that? You really want to live the what do you call it? The real thing. So yeah. Yeah, but this is the aircraft I fly, the one that gives me the hard time. Where is it? It's a private jet. Yeah, this one is I basically just tamed it, I think yesterday. It was just yesterday I tamed it. But it's very, very hard to fly for some reason. Maybe some other stream I'll show you guys how it flies. It's so quick and it's so fast that you can easily, damage the engine if you're not careful. That's how quick it is. So you have to be careful how you fly it. Do I have an A380? I think so. But no, I don't have. I think it's 310. I have a 310. The Citation, it's a nice jet. I mean, I just want to get like a casual one. That's mainly why I'll probably go to something like where was it? Well, that one I've actually mastered it. This one. But this one I can fly it with my eyes closed because I've mastered it. And I'm hoping to get one in real life. And I'll purposely go to flight school for it. Just to learn how to fly it. Yeah. So yeah, any other questions from you guys? I wonder if we can glide with these type of which one be Concorde? I think, do we have it? Let me search and see. Yeah, we don't have it. We don't have it. It might be in the store, but we don't have it. Exactly, yeah. I bought the game on Microsoft Store, so I can't really get the mods. I didn't buy it per se. I have Game Pass. Let me see. Exactly. And they are crazy expensive sometimes. Like, I just don't get how people get away with selling some of these aircrafts. Check the prices here. The price of the Boeing 787 is $70. That's like the price of a game. And then let's take some of them are expensive, no joke. $19, $33 private jet, $24, $49. They can get really expensive depending. And I get why they're expensive, because these things translate to real life, But I mean, obviously you have to fly the real thing to actually know what it feels like. But everything you learn here, you can translate into real life, basically. Anyways, yeah. So hopefully I can get to fly with Kojo next time. But thanks to you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time, where we'll probably fly to another country. And then we'll see how that goes. So yeah. See you guys, and peace out.